Welcome to the third video in our series supporting sexual assault survivors with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Watching the videos in order can be helpful for understanding the dynamics of sexual assault. My name is Melissa and I am a Healthy Relationships class facilitator. In this video, we will talk about promoting safety and provide tools and resources for supporting survivors of sexual assault. Please take care of yourself as you watch these videos. This video includes descriptions of sexual assault. If this video is a part of your training program but will be uncomfortable for you to watch, we encourage you to talk to a supervisor or call the YWCA helpline to speak with an advocate at 616-454-9922.
In this video, we will focus on the tools and steps that you can take if you suspect that an individual you support has been sexually assaulted, or if someone discloses to you that they have been sexually assaulted. First, we will talk about how to be a safe person. Next, we will use a role play to help learn how to handle a disclosure. Last, we will highlight how to report a sexual assault and offer resources.
The most important response you can have to sexual assault is to become a safe person for the individuals who you work with. Taking steps to become a safe person will help you notice the signs that someone may have been assaulted, and will create an environment where an individual can come to you and let you know that they have been hurt. Being a safe person means that you are gentle and predictable in your actions, even during difficult situations. Here are a few steps to prepare you for a disclosure of sexual violence. Step 1. Reflect on your experiences and comfort with the topic of sexuality. Step 2. Create a safe environment. Step 3. Focus on support.
Step 1. Reflect on your experiences and comfort with the topic of sexuality. It is important to take steps to make yourself comfortable with the topic of human sexuality in general, so that you can answer questions and respond to sexual behaviors. Please note that sexual assault is not about sexual hygiene, consensual sex, or romance. It is an act of violence. However, someone may test your reaction by asking you about sexuality in general, or by displaying a sexual behavior to see how you react before telling you that they have experienced sexual assault. Or they may be confused about what happened to them and aren't labeling it as an assault. If your immediate reaction is to shut down conversations or behaviors, you are sending a harmful message. The person who asks the question or shows the behavior will feel judged, or may even feel they need to protect you from their experience. You can make all the difference in a person feeling comfortable coming to you when you can show that you are comfortable with the topic of sexuality on a day-to-day basis. Taking on this role may seem a little overwhelming. Many of us can be uncomfortable talking about sexuality in general. Sometimes that is due to our cultural beliefs, sometimes due to religious beliefs, and sometimes this is simply a result of our own families not talking about sex as we were growing up. Even if you don't have all the answers, you can approach the topic of sexuality with care and confidence. A place to start is to use appropriate and common terms for private body parts. Be proactive by using these terms when helping people with IDD. It isn't necessary to know all of the medical terms, but be confident in using the right language when appropriate. For example, when you are helping with bathing, say, make sure you clean your penis or vagina instead of down there. It is important for staff and people who care for people with disabilities to role model this language. If you do ever have to talk about an assault, you don't want this to be the first time you have to use these words. People with IDD are often denied information about sexuality. Sex offenders take advantage of this when they groom victims. You can make a big difference by encouraging questions, opinions, and learning about healthy relationships, sexuality, and safety. You don't have to be perfect or be an expert, but taking the steps to become comfortable with the topic and demonstrating to others that you are comfortable is important to your role. It is essential to creating a safe environment for individuals with IDD. If you struggle with being comfortable with the topic, ask for help.
Step 2, create a safe environment. Getting comfortable with the topics of sexuality and sexual violence can help us support individuals who have been assaulted and can also help us create safe environments. We can focus on creating safe spaces through our interactions every day. In this step, we'll talk about 5 things you can do to create a safe environment. Listen when an individual expresses concerns instead of being dismissive. For example, you may work with an individual who constantly asks you to speak privately over concerns that may not seem very urgent, like their feelings getting hurt by a roommate or someone cutting in the line at the store. It can be easy not to take these talks seriously after a while, but it is important that we show individuals that their concerns matter to us and that we will help them to navigate a problem. It is important to have a non-judgmental response to sexual behavior. When an individual displays a challenging or sexually inappropriate behavior, your gut reaction may be to immediately stop or redirect the behavior. For safety purposes, you may have to stop or redirect the behavior, but it is critical to ask yourself why this could be happening and gently seek an answer to the question. An individual may be acting out sexual behaviors they have seen or experienced in an effort to understand them. The sexual behavior could be the individual's way of telling you that they have experienced sexual assault. You might not know what the sexual behavior means, but react with care and not judgment. Additionally, notice and respond to other staff and caregivers in the environment. Are they ignoring or quickly redirecting sexual behavior or questions? Are they using appropriate and clear terms for private body parts? If not, help them out. Remember, we all share the same goal of promoting safety. Make sure there are confidential spaces where individuals can share concerns. These can be offices, conference rooms, or common rooms in a home setting that can be private. Whichever space you use, make sure that it feels confidential and safe to the individual. Follow the person's lead in finding a place to talk. Note that a secluded spot may not feel safe to an assault victim. Take the lead from the individual and find an environment and staff person that they choose. It may be more comfortable for a survivor to disclose about sexual assault to a person of their same gender. An individual may act out sexually as a way to show you that something has happened. If this is the case, you may want to have another staff person with you to ensure safety. Be empowering in your protocol for touch and hugs. Sexual assault takes away an individual's right to choose what they do with their body. You can encourage body safety and empowerment by giving individuals the option to say no and offer choices in everyday situations. For example, be mindful of practicing and teaching to ask for permission for physical contact. Giving hugs and high fives to individuals we serve is one of the ways we can show our genuine care, but ask first. When engaging in physical support with hygiene and dressing, ask permission to touch people. Encourage individuals to ask before they touch another person as well. One of the most straightforward ways we can create a safe environment is to include information on healthy relationships and sexuality in our offices, work sites, and living environments. Having brochures and posters addressing healthy relationships and sexual assault services are clear messages that you are prepared to comfortably discuss these matters. Making a commitment to create a safe environment will increase the chances that survivors will come forward and get the help that they need. It takes effort, but it is worth it to know that you can help someone who is experiencing a difficult situation.
Step 3. Focus on support. The third step you can take when supporting a survivor who is disclosing a sexual assault is to remain calm, compassionate, and honor what they say. This might take some preparation and practice beforehand. Use this video as a guide. In a few moments, we will show a role play of a disclosure to give you an idea of how this could look. Keep in mind the following 4 tools for support as you watch the role play. First, honor what the survivor says and show them that you are here for them. It is okay if you do not know exactly what to say. It is most important to show them you are taking them seriously. Being comfortable enough to respond with, "I'm not sure what to say right now, but I'm thankful you told me," will convey that you care about them. It is okay to take a minute and sit in silence. Take it slow and don't jump to solutions. Healing is a long process, so focus on the needs of the moment. Second, while you are talking to the survivor, ensure safety. As you find out about what has happened, focus on the individual's immediate safety. Make sure that the individual will not have to see or talk to the offender. If you continue to be involved with planning for safety after a disclosure, make sure that the survivor is included in making decisions about what happens next. Third, when someone is disclosing sexual assault, listen carefully and give them time to tell you what happened in their own words. Ask for clarification if they are using a term that you don't know. Use the words that they use as you ask questions. Keep questions open-ended so they can tell you what happened in their own words instead of asking questions answered by yes or no. Avoid asking questions that begin with why. Asking why questions can make the survivor feel like the assault was their fault. As you follow the survivor's lead, you might notice that their description of what happened may seem out of order. Know that this is normal for survivors of trauma and continue to let them tell their experience in the way that makes sense to them. Support, don't investigate. Your purpose in listening to a disclosure is to support the individual. There are trained professionals at your agency in law enforcement and adult protective services that will conduct an investigation. Your role is to make sure that the survivor knows they have an ally. Remain calm. When a survivor discloses, it is natural to have an emotional reaction, such as anger or sadness. It is important to remain calm. Remember to stay in the moment and focus on the survivor's needs, and then tend to your own feelings after the disclosure.
To help us talk about handling a disclosure, here is a role play in an adult foster care or AFC home setting. This is just one setting where interactions like this can happen. The reality is that sexual assault happens across all backgrounds, all family types, living situations, races, and cultures. All staff working with people with disabilities have a responsibility for creating safe environments in our offices, at home, at day programs, and at job sites. Think about the steps for being a safe person. Creating a safe environment and focusing on support as you watch the role play.
Jen, I think Brian is watching porno on his tablet. I'm not sure, but I did hear some sounds, and I panicked and came to get you. I mean, I don't want the other residents seeing this. I think I should take his tablet, or at least tell him that it's inappropriate and disgusting behavior. What do you think?
Well, let's slow down for a minute. I can see from here if anybody walks in, so let's talk about it real fast. Have you noticed any other behaviors with him recently?
I did notice he's been a little withdrawn and hasn't really wanted to spend time playing his games or even with the other residents.
Okay, well, let's keep that in mind, but watching pornography could be a completely normal behavior for somebody his age. And so we don't want him doing it in the common area, but we don't want to make him feel ashamed for doing something that's completely normal. So I'm gonna go talk to him, you wait in the kitchen, and if I need you, I'll holler, okay?
Okay, all right.
Hey Brian, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Jen. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. I could hear that you were watching something on your computer. Do you want to talk about it?
I was on the internet and I saw people that are taking their clothes off.
Okay, that sounds like it's a little bit private. Do you want to go somewhere else to talk about it?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, we don't have to talk right now, but I am here for you if you need me. And if you want to watch those videos in the future, you can't do it in the dining room anymore. You have to do it in the privacy of your bedroom, all right?
Thanks for telling me, Jan.
All right.
Staff members Lily and Jan gave us an example of what our instincts might be when we notice an unexpected sexual behavior. Lily shares her idea to immediately stop the concerning behavior, but we see Jan gently asking Brian about what is happening instead. She reassures Brian that he is not in trouble for the behavior and that she is a safe person to talk to if he has questions. Jan provides clear instruction to direct sexual behavior to appropriate spaces without making comments that could make Brian feel ashamed or scared to talk to her. Let's go back to Jan and Brian to see what happens next. As you watch this portion, notice Jan's tone of voice, body language, and choice of words.
Hey Brian, can we talk?
Sure.
Did you have fun making lunch today?
I'd love to cook.
Excellent, you're doing such a great job.
Thanks.
Is it possible that we can talk about the video you were watching earlier?
Sure.
Where did you find it?
Online?
Online? Did anybody help you find it?
He told me not to tell. He is just teaching me how to be a man.
He told you not to tell?
Yes, I am not supposed to tell.
I promise you're not in trouble, but what kind of trouble are you worried about?
I don't want him to hurt me. He said I could be in a big trouble if I can talking about naked videos.
I'm worried that he's saying he's gonna hurt you. I care about you and I don't want your friends to hurt you. Can you tell me what happened and who it was so I can help?
I can't, Jenny. He said he can kill me.
That's really scary. I'm so sorry he said that. Can you tell me who it was so I can help?
How can you help me? I had to go there for a visit.
Number one, here, your safety is what's most important. So if you don't feel safe, you don't have to go to the visit.
I don't know, Jan. I like my visits. I don't want to have sex stuff.
The sex stuff?
I don't want to talk about that. I'm scared.
I'm sorry you're scared. What can we do to help?
Can I not do my physics this week?
We can do that. Can we tell my supervisor, Jessica, what happened? She will know what to do to help keep you safe.
Why does Jessica have to know?
She's been here a long time and she knows who to talk to, so the sex stuff doesn't happen anymore.
Okay, Jan.
All right, we can call her together.
Let's talk about how Jan used the 4 tools for supporting an individual who is disclosing a sexual assault. 1. Honor the survivor and show them that you are here for them. Throughout the conversation, Jan reassures Brian that she cares for him.
Number 2, focus on safety. We can see Jan focus on Brian's emotional and physical safety. Notice that she doesn't push him to talk about what's happening when she first talks to him about the pornography. She waits until later in the day when they are in a private space. Jan lets Brian take his time and doesn't focus on getting all the details. Jan includes Brian in what will happen next by telling him why they are calling her supervisor Jessica to get more help. Communicating the next steps will maintain trust and help them feel that they have control throughout the process.
3. Listen carefully. As Jan focuses on safety in her interaction with Brian, we also see her listening carefully. She doesn't jump to conclusions about what he means, but gently asks him to tell her more about what happened using his own language. Jan uses open-ended questions like, "What kind of trouble are you worried about?" or "He told you not to tell?" instead of questions beginning with "why?" or questions answered by yes or no. We can also see that Jan does not rush Brian.
Remain calm in the moment and practice self-care after. We can only imagine what Jan may have been feeling in the moment. Sadness, anger, panic about what may need to happen next. It is important to address your feelings when you are no longer in the presence of the individual. Take time to take care of yourself and debrief with an appropriate person like a supervisor or a counselor.
Now that we have discussed how to handle the disclosure, the next step is to go over the reporting procedure. You only need to suspect assault to begin the reporting process. You are not alone in this process. Only specially trained professionals should investigate suspected sexual assault. It is important to know your agency's procedures for reporting suspected sexual assault of a person you serve. Use the 4 tools we discussed to support an individual during the disclosure. At some point in this conversation, you might start thinking about reporting. The victim may not recognize this shift and still needs your support. It is critical that after disclosing to you, they continue to feel supported and cared for. After the disclosure, make sure the individual is physically and emotionally safe. Know the people in your agency who can help you secure safety for the individual. This could mean changing family visitations, housing or job changes, or scheduling a therapy appointment. As per your policy, only tell the staff you need to and include the individual in the necessary calls. Make a report following agency procedure. You are very likely a mandated reporter. This means you are required by law to report suspected abuse. When making a report, do your best to use direct quotes and stick to your observations. If the person did not disclose, but you suspect sexual assault, explain the observed behavior or comments that are leading you to suspect, not just your conclusion that a sexual assault may have occurred. Know your agency procedure if you suspect that the sex offender is a staff member. It is not your job to ask questions or investigate any doubts. Your job is to report, and it is the investigator's job to investigate. The individual chose to tell you, and you are in place to make sure that they are heard and taken seriously when you report. As we talked about in video 1, there are many barriers for individuals with disabilities to disclose that they have been assaulted. Unfortunately, people with IDD are often not believed simply because they have a disability. Honor what they say and advocate for them by doing what you can to make sure the individual is being heard and valued in the investigative process. There are many ways that you can serve as an advocate for a survivor. Accompany them to the medical forensic exam, be present during an interview, help police understand how the individual communicates, or help make sure the individual understands the investigative process and the people involved. Continue to be there for the survivor in the weeks and months after the assault. Supporting individuals who have been victimized by sexual assault is difficult, but remember, you are not alone. The YWCA Nurse Examiner Program provides emergent forensic exams up to 5 days after an assault. The YWCA serves everyone from infant to senior, men and women, and is available to see patients 24/7. To schedule an appointment, call the YWCA 24-hour confidential helpline at 616-454-9922. The YWCA also provides advocacy services, including legal advocacy, domestic violence services, and ongoing therapy and therapy groups for survivors. You can learn more about the YWCA at www.ywcawcmi.org. Check out the Weave page for a virtual tour of the Nurse Examiner program and resources specifically for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities and guardians of individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
In this video, we learned about how to promote safety and steps to support a survivor who discloses that they have been sexually assaulted. We learned about steps to becoming a safe person by reflecting on our experiences and comfort with the topic of sexuality, creating safe environments, and focusing on support for survivors. We discussed 5 things you can do to create a safe environment: listening to concerns, having non-judgmental responses to sexual behavior, offering confidential spaces, promoting empowerment in our protocol and interactions, and providing information on healthy relationships and sexual violence. We offered 4 tools for supporting survivors who disclose they have been sexually assaulted. Finally, we discussed guidelines for making a report. Thank you for watching this series. We really do appreciate it. Sexual assault injures an individual's ability to feel safe in the world, trust other people, and believe that they have value. It is only through our relationship with those we work with that we can demonstrate to them that they are safe, loved, and valued. Your day-to-day interactions are the most powerful tool you have to combat the negative impact of sexual assault. We should remember that it is an honor to have the opportunity to play such a crucial role in the lives of so many people.